Hey, it's Skip Flexion in Siena, and we're going to go over how you teach your horse to be balanced and have some self-carriage and the things that lead to an easy route to collection. And a lot of that is about them using their hind and letting that be the impulsion, and then their body shortens a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do, and we just made this video, but we found out the microphone unhooked and fell down between my leg and the saddle. So that's why she's breathing a little bit, because we just went through this already. First thing I'm going to do is have this inside hind step towards that outside front. And if you're not getting much of a step under, this is my gas pedal, then I'll raise my hand every time she's going to take that step, kind of both hands. Drive her into it, but make sure we're getting some bend and she's soft in the face. Now, this isn't yield the hind, this is yield the hind. This is a forward motion with a step under and over, just like that. So once you have that, take your time. Make sure you have that really good on both sides. And normally I would do that in a halter, but for this purpose, I'm going to jump right on. Make sure that they're even on both sides. Make sure they're reaching under and over, and they're pretty relaxed about it. If they're still a little stressed about this stage, don't go to the next one. And that holds for every bit of this. If you find any resistance, any stiffness, anything that's not really easy, stay there before you move to the next stage. So that's a key element, is don't just rush. They're going to tell you the pace they can go at. And if you try to make things go faster, you actually end up slowing yourself down. So now my inside leg is on her, and I'm leaning in to bend her and make her go around me. And I want that face nice and soft. And if she starts bleeding out, my outside leg will just go on the shoulder. So we go the other way. Again, I lean to the inside, bending the rib, bending the rib. Face is nice and soft. She is putting slack in the rein. And my leg's kind of pulsing. It's not just holding there. It's kind of pulsing. Now she's moving out, so that right leg will come forward, or outside leg will come forward to push her back in. So she's pretty looky. Younger horses tend to be a little looky. And she's kind of has some issues from a previous training program. But this is nice and soft. She feels pretty balanced. Now I'm kind of sitting on her back feet while I'm doing this. She's trying to go out. Go the other way. And once I feel her really relax at this, and we might spend a week just on this exercise, which is one of my favorites. I do it for all kinds of stuff. A bird startled her or something. So I'm just going to keep bending, keep bending, keep bending. And if they startle, you need to get their attention back on you before you go on. Now you see how much slack is in that rein. She's putting her head wherever she wants, as long as it's tipped to the inside. It can't go up, but it can go even, it can go down, whatever she wants that feels comfy to her. Okay. Now those first two steps really are important, because they set the foundation for everything going forward. So you do it on the ground, you do it under saddle. Those are huge things to get you set up for success as you move into the next stages. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bend her, and when her head comes down, I'm going to let her go wherever she wants. Now I'm going to not let her go out of the frame of the video here, but as soon as that head comes down, like right there, oh man, scary something over there. As long as she travels like this, I don't bug her. I let her go wherever she wants until we leave the frame of the video, then I'll have to steer. But head down. She gets to go wherever she wants like this. I'm riding her back feet and trying to hold her balance point, but I'm not doing anything up here. She's just doing her own thing. And they find pretty quickly that that's fairly comfy, that their head's not up, their tail's not up, they're not inverted. It feels better to have that relaxed kind of positioning than to be up. Now she's looking at something else. She's really worried today. So the next thing I'll do is back her. Once you have those three things set up, I'll sit back, ask her to back up from my seat. And if she doesn't, I'll just, these three fingers, ask for the nose to soften a little bit. Because I want her to get used to braking at the pole and it not being a big deal. And by backing up, this is easy for her to brake at the pole because she's already in this kind of shape. Her impulsion's coming from her hind feet. So there we go, she's backing up. Her head's not coming down yet. Now, this backup is a key element because this is the position, basically, you want going forward. That is really sort of collection going backwards. So we're just going to change directions. We're going backwards, and now we're going to go forwards. And I have my hand set so she can find some release if she doesn't raise her head. Right there. So if she doesn't raise her head, there's a lot of float in that rein. Now she's worried, so her head's trying to come up. But you can see how much float there is. I'm not pulling her head in. I'm not letting it go up, but I'm not pulling it in. And that's really a different move. Pulling it in is like this, and that she didn't like that. I'm letting her find this place. I'm riding her back feet. My hip angle's almost like a stop. And I'm letting her find this place where this is loose. And if she tries to go up, she hits some rein. And she's real looky right now, so I'm going to jiggle that and get her attention. So this is back almost to the point where we don't touch her and she wanders, but now I just have my hand set in a position that if she drops her nose, she finds release. If she raises her nose or pushes out, she finds pressure. See, right there, she hit the band and found pressure. And right there, she found release. And so I'm not pulling at all. So that takes a little bit of time for them to find that. And don't pull in. That is the most tempting thing about this, is to go, put your head right there. That will undo everything you've done to this point if I start cranking on her face. Right now she's balanced, and all I really am asking for is this sort of relaxed position. Now, the next step would be to get her to brake at the pole like this. And that, she's not really there yet, but that's kind of the next thing. She's a little behind the vertical, which I don't like, but that's where she went. So I need to give her just a little bit more rein. And this isn't, I'm not doing the thing where I'm driving her into it. I'm letting her find what feels better and what is balanced, and it's an easier way for her to carry me than cranking her in. So there's her balance, relaxed. I'm just going to ask for her a little bit more nose. And there. And she can't, there's enough slack that she can find slack in that rein. And her impulsion is all from the hind. This is all done from the hind. So I'm going to back her up. She's getting a little forward there. And now we'll ask her to go off, walk off again. And she's looking around. She's sure there's lions and tigers everywhere. Now the next move is I'm going to ask her to trot in this balanced kind of spot. And that is a nice trot to ride right there. Now she's throwing her head around a little because she's trying to figure out how to carry herself at a different gait. So don't make these huge changes just because they get a little confused. Stay the course. And let them find it. So there's a big difference between the philosophy of letting them find it. She's confused, she's distracted again. Let them find it like this versus make them do it. So if she found that on her own after throwing her head around, she went, oh, well, shoot, that's way easier if I just do that. Make sure you don't tell them, do this. Set them up for success. Let them find what you're looking for. And that little trot with her balanced is like riding a cloud. Super easy. So anyway, give each step its due. Give it its time that it needs. Don't rush. You can't move to the next step until this one's pretty well dialed in. And it step by step by step until you get, and she's not there. I mean, she's a work in progress. But we picked her because she's not there. It's still, this is actually training her. This is actually how you do it. But give each time, give each process the time it needs, and you're going to get a great, soft, nice, willing horse at the end that is balanced and ready to compete in any discipline you choose. You know, I'm in a Western saddle. There's a Western style horse. Why do you care about this? Because she's going to do so much better at anything she does down the road than she would if she was bracy and stiff and not soft and balanced. Anyway, if this made any sense, please subscribe.